That was an extraordinary game of rugby. A mad game of rugby, a weird game in a lot of ways as well. And I suppose the most important thing from an English point of view, a match that they finally were able to win against top tier opposition. Welcome back to the channel. The game finished a couple of hours ago. I've been having to do various bits and bobs, so I haven't made too many notes. This is almost off the top of my head, had a little bit of time to think about it, but my thoughts on the game, you can have your say in the comments section, and also make sure you like the video and that you subscribe to the channel as well. England 26, France 25. I think first and foremost it is credit to this England team, because I didn't back them to win this game, I didn't pick them to win this game. I said they could win it, but I didn't expect them to, and I didn't expect them to because so often this had been a team that had been unable to win these tight games, that sometimes had found ways to lose them despite being in the lead. And with the quality in this French team, I just wondered how they were going to get over the line. But they got over the line. And so for all the negativity, all the criticism, a lot of it fair, I think, fair play to this England team. Because we've seen that play out many times before. I was here through November and they were leading late against New Zealand, conceded a try, weren't able to knock over the drop goal. They were leading against Australia and didn't collect a restart. They got beaten by South Africa. There were so many times where they weren't able to do it. Massive credit to them for the way in which they were able to. So why did they, I suppose? Why did England win today when we've seen them lose so many of these games? I think there's an element of luck in it, and I'll get onto that in terms of France's performance, but I suppose there's a few different things. I thought Steve Borthwick got his selection pretty much bang on, because all over the park there were some really impressive performances. Tom Curry in the back row was absolutely outstanding, as he so often is. He's been England's best player in this Six Nations so far. The guy has like a metal hip. He didn't do much training in the week because they have to manage his minutes and him physically so much because he's taken so much punishment despite the fact that he's not that old. He was sensational. I think Finn Smith officially got man of the match. I'd have probably given it to Tom Curry. Did we see the start of the Finn Smith era at 10 for England? I actually thought Marcus Smith and Finn Smith worked quite well in tandem. Probably going to be some question marks over Marcus Smith's kicking game from fullback. I actually thought, particularly in the second half, the way in which England attack and the way in which Marcus Smith came in at first receiver, the two worked pretty well. But I thought Finn Smith, given the fact that it's his first start in this sort of game in the Six Nations, at home, under pressure, I thought he was excellent. And it reaffirms really everything you hear about Finn Smith, which is that he is a calm, cool, collected guy, like an old head on young shoulders. I thought he was very, very good. And importantly from England, their bench. Jamie George came on and was far more, I suppose, solid in throwing in at the line-out. We know that's not Luke Cowan-Dickey's strengths, but Jamie George helped shore that up. So did Ollie Chesham coming on as that jumper, and Elliot Daly scored the winning try as well. Plus I thought, Finn Baxter and Joe Hayes, they went well as well. So much to love from an England point of view. I'm so pleased for those players that they were able to get over the line, that it's not going to be another week building up to Scotland where it is questions about whether they're learning from their mistakes or whether they're getting into that final period in games and are psychologically scarred by previous matches they haven't got over the line. Like, I'm so pleased that they have got the victory. Doesn't mean it was perfect. In particular, I think the line out and some of their defence they're going to have to work on and look at and get better. But overall, that is a huge shot in the arm for this England team and for Steve Borthwick as a whole. It's that classic thing, isn't it, about the Six Nations, of one result can completely change the whole complexion of the championship for both these sides. From England now, okay, they've got Scotland coming here in a couple of weeks. That will not be an easy game, but off the back of this, England, you feel, could well win that game. It's going to be tough, but, it changes your complexion on it. Then they've got Italy and Wales. So all of a sudden you look at the championship and you say, England could win 4 or 5, which would be incredible. And from a French point of view, maybe this brings me on to the visitors here nicely. For how good this team is, another year, another Grand Slam has slipped out of their grasp. And in that sort of performance, I think they'll be absolutely gutted. They will be wondering, they will be heading back to France, wondering how on earth they didn't win that game. Because what was it? They butchered at least 3 tries, maybe 4. Like, uncharacteristically as well. Damien Penaud close to the 5 metre down over to that end of the pitch. Dupont as well with the knock-on, Biel, BRA, so many times they were trying to force it. It was a really weird performance, I thought, from a French point of view. Yes, we saw some good stuff, but if you're French, you'd be absolutely kicking yourselves. Absolutely kicking yourselves at that defeat. I actually thought it was... Do you remember in, 2012 when England beat New Zealand here? Like the Manu Tuolangi game when he absolutely rampaged through the midfield and he was incredible, and England beat New Zealand, a really famous victory against the All Blacks at Twickenham. And then you hear stories that came out later about New Zealand having a bug in the team, being ill. Obviously, I've got no idea if that was the case with France, but it was one of those weird performances that I was like, what's going on here? What's going wrong? Yes, England did a lot of good stuff, but from a French point of view, missed opportunities. Major missed opportunities. I will do another video tomorrow, I think, when I've been able to actually write down some thoughts. This has kind of been off the top of my head, so I hope there's nothing too obvious that I've missed. The fact that Borthwick didn't use Chandler Cunningham himself or Harry Randall on the bench, actually, I'll maybe leave that to tomorrow. That, for me, is one of the bits of detail in this performance that I think is pretty significant. And it changes England's Six Nations. This place was jumping. Twickenham is corporate, right? But when you get a good game, you get a dramatic win like that, it is a great place. The stands literally feel like they're bouncing. Great evening, classic Six Nations game. What did you make of it? Put your comments down below, like the video as well, and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. See you in the next one.